concrete walls. There's a place for us where we could go, where we could be alone. Between city lights, we don't have to hide. I wanna go, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? I can't understand why we can't hold hands, but they don't know what we have is real love. Aren't you sick and tired of having to hide? I know a place, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow?
What's up, you guys? Welcome to the stream. It is Monday night. It's 8 p.m. and it is time to do a Q&A with you. Welcome. Welcome, you guys. Boom. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Stream Deck has been weird to me lately, but just restarted Stream Deck. So watch this. I'll be like over here, over here, over here, over here. You don't know where I'm going. Where am I going? Where is it? Am I over here? Am I up here? You don't know? Stream Deck, baby. Welcome to the stream. Very good to be here with you. Andy Cooper says, she keeps asking if I want to follow, but I'm already following Josh. If she asks you if you want to follow, you leave me. You say yes. You say yes. Welcome, Slow Entropy, the first time catching a live stream at the beginning. Welcome. You get to hear all the exclusive content that I only put for people who show up at the beginning of the stream. Does Stream Deck have the buttons on your phone? Asks Beantime. Beantime, Stream Deck does have a phone app that like you can use, but I have one of the hard button things. Stream Deck. I have the Stream Deck, this thing. It's this thing. Except I have the bigger one. I have the one with like the 24 keys instead of or the 16 keys or something instead of the 32 keys, whatever. The big one. Yeah, no. I need more keys. I guess is what I'm saying. This one. Yeah, the extra large, baby. It's just you switch scenes. Boom. Where are you going? What are you doing? How much is it? I think it's like $150. It's it's not mandatory, but it is nice. Because otherwise you got this situation going on. Excuse the infinite window. But when this situation is going on, you gotta, what are we doing? Yeah, you gotta like manually click the scenes. And the problem is like you can have collections of scenes, collections of sources and stuff. And it's a little bit of a pain, which is pretty nice. I mean, if you're a streamer, it's pretty nice. It's not mandatory, but it is. It's handatory, not mandatory. Anyway. I just got done with an interview with Tyler Brennan and Jonathan Ruprecht. Jonathan Ruprecht, his lawyer. They're suing the FAA. So that'll be interesting. That's going to be coming out this week. Yeah. Why not 3D print a Stream Deck with an ESP32 or something, says the Red Gamer FPV. Honestly, man, there are some homebrewed solutions for Stream Deck, but the build quality on this thing is pretty freaking solid. The other thing is that the software it comes with is pretty freaking good. So even if you were to hand build something, the software is pretty slick. But mostly just laziness. I'd rather build a quadcopter than build a Stream Deck by hand. But there are hand build solutions for it, for sure. So, too many 5K videos from the DJI drone, says Mr. Eddie Nunes. Eddie, have you been seeing people making content with the DJI drone? Because mostly it seems like people are just posting pictures of the crash. Crashed drones. Here's what we're doing, folks. If you're new here, welcome to the stream. If it's your first stream, got like 6,000 or 7,000 new subscribers from my DJI drone video. Let's go see how that's doing. Hang on one second, I'll pull it up. Let's see how many new subscribers I'm up to from that video. Not to brag. Oh, I guess a little bit to brag. What are we at? Oh, it's definitely leveled off. It's definitely leveled off. Let's go take a look. It's leveled off. Views are 12 times higher than usual. That's interesting. It used to be 11 times higher than usual. 195,000 views. This is massive. 107. Yeah, it's continuing to grow even as it levels off. 1.2 thousand new subscribers just based off this one video. Yikes. Welcome, all you new subscribers to the stream. Interesting. What's going on? We still streaming? Are we still streaming? Are we still here? We just had power. The power just dropped out. Are we still, everybody? Apparently we're still here. Yeah, I don't know what just happened there. Is the power? Okay. All right, well, I guess my UPS worked. Welcome, everybody, to the stream. Here's what's going on. If you're new here, say hello. I'm going to be taking your questions. I'm going to be taking your questions here in the YouTube chat. Hello, Dick Sebring. Somebody did post a picture of their repair bill on their DJI drone today, Nick. Broken arm and motor was about $80. $80, if I remember correctly. They could have refreshed and gotten a whole new drone. I say about $80. So not the end of the world, but is my power out or generator power? Blind FPVS. I don't think the power's out. I have the computer and one monitor on a UPS. But my lights and stuff, I don't think my lights, I do have a solar system with battery backup, but these lights are not on the battery backup. So my cam is out of focus. Are you kidding me? No. Impossible. Oh, it is. Jeez, how did that happen? Oh my goodness gracious. I hope I didn't do the whole interview with Race Day Quads with my camera out of focus. I hope I just bumped it just going into this. stream. There we go. Wow. We good? Oh yeah, that we're good. Look at that. How long's it been since I shaved? You don't know. You got an idea. Yeah, I always keep my computer on a UPS for situations just like this, because it kept it alive, kept the stream alive. What battery system? What is it? What is it? It's shoot. Now I'm blanking on the name. Enlighten. No, what's the company's name? Oh, Jesus. N-phase. It's an N-phase system. There we go. Yeah. It's an N-phase. That's right. Yep. But I didn't think it was responsible to put my computer on the solar system. We wanted essential loads like the well pump and the freezer. And I leave my computer running overnight, so by the time we woke up, it would have just killed the solar battery. So. So anyway, what I was saying was, I'll be taking your questions here in the chat. I will also be taking questions from these beautiful people. These are my patrons, and this is my Discord server. If you want to join them, you can join them by clicking the link to my Patreon down in the video description for as little as $2 a month. You can join these beautiful people. And if you want to make sure I read out your question, because they go by so fast. If you want to make sure I read out your question, hit the $sign right down here. Leave a super chat like these super chats right here, which I will be getting to before too long. But let's start. Let's start with some just good old questions from the regular chat. Justin Schrack says, "What happened to your battery testing? I miss your wire on a board and a bucket of water." Nick Schrack, I have been doing that battery testing. I've hired a guy to do it for me. We've got a much better test machine, like a $4,000 test machine. And I have done some testing. Last one was in December. Oh, that's not the correct. Oh, you flippin' monkey. It's when the power went out, the screens came back on, and the left screen thinks it's the right screen, and the right screen thinks it's the left screen. That's going to be a problem. So here's some testing I've done. December, September. Where's the big one I did? Where's the big one that I did? Maybe I typed in batteries. Yeah, here's the big one that I did. 70 batteries. There is a Google Drive with the results. I've tested probably 75, 80 batteries by now. Interestingly, the testing has tapered off a little bit because it turns out that not a lot of people want to send us batteries to test. So to their credit, Race Day Quads sent me literally one of every battery that they sell. Sorry, all the Race Day Quads batteries, not the third-party batteries. And Tyler said, he didn't care if I published the results. He said, I just want to know if they're any good. Get FPV did the same thing. They sent us a bunch of, like, 20 batteries. CNHL sent us a few. And after that, it's kind of petered out. Nobody wants to send us batteries to test. So as much as I hate it, I'm not sure what to do. I decided I used to do the testing and I would buy 1 or 2 batteries. And I decided that's not the most useful thing I could be doing. Because if I just test like one CNHL, if I test a CNHL 1300 milliamp hour black, well, that's fine if you want to buy that exact battery, but it doesn't really tell you a lot. And so I said, well, I wish I could just get all the Race Day Quads batteries, all the Get a PV batteries. I want to test as many as I can, but I can't afford to buy all of those. I can't afford to buy all of those. So I'm not sure how to proceed, to tell you the truth. The other thing is, I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to say who it was. But I ran some tests for a certain company, They sent me some packs. I tested them, and they said, thank you. Would you mind not releasing those results? And I still haven't decided what I want to do about that, because on the one hand, they sent me the tests, and they sent me the batteries, and the agreement was that we would test them and publish the results. On the other hand, they sent me the batteries, and I realized that if I had purchased the batteries, I would have no qualms about releasing the test results. But if they sent them, I don't know. So I've been thinking about how to proceed on this, because if you think about it, like the Race Day Quads batteries that they sent me, it was about $400 or $500 worth of batteries. I don't think I've made $400 or $500. I don't think I've made that back in affiliate links on these results. So I kind of have to ask I think I'm going back to the idea that I need to buy the batteries if I want to test them. Because if I buy them at retail, I'm free and clear. I don't owe anything to anybody. And like I would never let somebody change my mind about a result, right? The results are what they are. But they came back and they said, well, basically these batteries didn't do much better than the last batch, and we think they should have done better. And then they're kind of winking and saying maybe there's something about your, pilots are saying that these batteries have great punch. And I'm like, is there something about my testing that I'm not, maybe there's something about the testing. Anyway, so I don't know. No, GNB, Jibba Jabba, GNB is Race Day Quads. Race Day Quads batteries are relabeled GNBs. So GNB results are already out there. I will happily say the names of the vendors that were very open. Bear in mind, I'm not saying that their results were necessarily good or bad, just that they were open with the results. And Race Day Quads, who are GNB, CNHL, no questions. They sent me some packs. I tested them. I released the results. They said, cool. Whatever the results are, that's what they are. Get FPV, Lumineer, sent me some packs, Xylo and Lumineer packs. So by process of elimination, you might start to figure out there's too many other companies for you to actually guess it, and I'm not going to say who it was because I don't want to put them on the spot. But I took from that situation, well, one thing I took from that situation is that maybe I need to go back to buying the packs. The equipment is Baldman FPV. The equipment is calibrated. It's calibrated. It's like lab equipment. I mean, okay, it's probably not as calibrated as some lab equipment, but yeah. Anyway, the problem is that in order to really make the testing viable, I would need to spend $500 a month. Let's say I spend $500 a month, that lets me test 20 or 25. Let me do the math. Is that retail? Let's say the packs are on average $20. Some of them are $25. Some of them are $15. And let's say there's 20 packs. It's $400. Yeah, 20 by 20. So I would be spending $400 or $500 a month to test 20-ish packs. And I'm just not sure. The other thing is I'm not sure that, I'm just not sure. Just not sure that that's worth it. Especially because, I don't know. How are the analytics on this video? Oh, I got the wrong window again. Sorry about that, guys. 42,000 views since it was published. 130 subscribers. That's actually really good. 42,000 views since it was published. $125 in revenue. Of course, the Google Drive that has affiliate links on it, and we don't know how those. There's no way to really know how those are doing, but I guess there is a way. We could look at the. Hang on. Here's the spreadsheet. If we just pick one of these are all. They're not Are they not Bitly links? What's my problem? Why would I not make this a Bitly link? There's no way for me to know how many times it's been clicked. What's wrong with me? Never mind. We're out of luck. There's no way for me to know how often these were clicked. So, I don't know. I don't know about the battery testing. I don't know what's going to happen next. Anyway, that's the answer. That's the answer. Especially because I got to tell you, as much effort as I've put into making the tests as accurate as they can be, there's always the implication that there's some ephemeral characteristic of the battery that I'm not taking into account. Like, I think if you know the battery's internal resistance, like, on some level, that tells you a lot of what you need to know about its performance. There's more to it than that. But, yeah, Michael Honeychuck, if I were to test one battery a month, then I wouldn't be producing really useful data. I would just be producing only, like you test the Tattoo 1300 milliamp hour. Well, what about all the others? Doesn't really tell you anything. Brendan D. asks, have you had any luck with any 20x20 ESC? I know you prefer 30x30, but what if you had to? I wouldn't. I don't know about that. I wouldn't. I couldn't name a 20x20 that I was sure I would trust. Twin Turbo Stang says, sign an agreement with the vendor that you can release the test data. Yeah, that's I screwed up on that one. We actually have an agreement, terms of agreement, that says, you know, that will release the data. And I'm not convinced that actually got sent. That's my bad. Even if it had got sent, like, I got to think about, I don't know. I got to think about how willing I am to argue with somebody about that stuff. But if I buy the packs at retail, then obviously I just do whatever I want with them, which is what I would feel best. I don't like to feel like I owe people stuff. Anyway, this is regular old iced tea with lemonade in it. Anyway, let's do some super chats. Acon has a nice 20x20 stack, says Bardwell FPV. I can say that Catalyst Machine Works ships the Shocker 4-inch with the Acon 20 millimeter flight controller and ESC, and that certainly is a good endorsement. It's a good endorsement. Bean Time says, use your test results as leverage to get more packs. Tell them to make a better pack and you'll publish the new results. Bean Time, the problem with that is that it reads like you're intentionally tanking the results in order to get more batteries. So you really have to be very, very careful about the implication that there's some leverage. The implication that if they don't do what you want, the results are going to be bad. It has to just be very clearly, you sent me a pack, here are the results, now I will publish them. It can't be, well, these are bad, and I guess I won't publish them as long as you send more packs. That just, even if you meant that honestly, it would be too easy to interpret it as being sleazy, and you couldn't do it. Let's do some super chats. Let's not talk for a half hour about battery testing. Let's do some super chats. And we'll start with this super chat from Nick W. It's a big $50 super chat, so it certainly got my attention. Looking for a distance with video on 2.5 to 4 inches. Possibly going digital. I run all analog with a stock Fat Shark module. Will it make much difference? Or is SharkBite worth the investment? Or should I go DJI? Nick, there's no question that analog can go far if you have a high-powered video transmitter and a good receiver module and a high-gain antenna. If all you are concerned about with range, then analog can do what you want. It's pretty easy to get 2 or 3 kilometers off of a 600 or 800 milliwatt or maybe a 1 watt plus video. Of course, if you're on a 2.5 inch quadcopter, you don't have a 1 watt video transmitter, but you might have a 400 milliwatt. I think it would be easy to get a few kilometers with that setup without doing anything too exotic. If your goal is to be down in the 2.5 to 4 inch range, DJI is not out of the question. And the 4 inch range, it's really easy to carry a Vista. There are 2.5 inch quads carrying a Vista, but they are not. They're certainly not what you would call long distance, if only because the flight time is going to be short because they're carrying so much weight. Some people are doing what's called a naked Vista, where they take the heat sinks off the Vista. It heats up more, and it doesn't, as a result of it heating up, it doesn't have quite the same output power, but it still has pretty good performance, and it doesn't seem to damage itself. As far as SharkBite goes, I think the main reason to go with SharkBite would be if you were very concerned about weight. SharkBite has a single board build, single board VTX it's only got 200 milliwatts of output power, though. If you were very concerned about latency, in other words, if you were racing, or if you were very concerned about compatibility with your existing goggles. So if you've got a set of goggles that have an HDMI input and you don't want to reinvest in new goggles. I think I think that most people, the number one reason they wouldn't get DJI is the budget. It's more expensive than most of the other options. Another reason that they stay away from DJI is some people just don't like DJI as a company, but you wouldn't have asked about DJI if you weren't considering it. DJI has a hard limit. In 25 megabit per second mode, it has a hard limit at 6 kilometers. The protocol between the goggles and the air unit has a timeout that it uses to detect when data has been lost and retransmit the data. And that timer times out somewhere around 6 kilometers due to the latency of the link. If you're in 50 megabits per second mode, you can go up to 12 kilometers. Most people are going to find 12 kilometers more than sufficient. It doesn't mean that the link will go 12 kilometers. You'll still need like high gain antennas to get that, but DJI can get you out to, again, without any modifications, it'll easily go a few kilometers, similar to 5 gigahertz video, and with higher gain antennas, it'll get out to, people have had it all the way out to 12 kilometers, and then, of course, that's a hard limit. I get some flack from people for being a little too enthusiastic about DJI. It's a fact that it has the best image quality, the easiest setup and use. It is incredibly high quality hardware. It's very difficult. Like some people who've bought SharkBite have said, I'm specifically talking about Johnny 5, who I interviewed about. They said, yeah, a couple of the guys at our club bought SharkBite, and the VTXs died. Too many of the VTXs died, and they gave up. They quit it. That's just one sample, right? So we can't maybe draw general trends, but very few. Like the quality of the DJI hardware is incredibly high, and it's just a pretty good experience all around if you can afford the money, and if you don't care about the latency, and if you don't care about dealing with DJI as a company. So Most of the time when someone says, should I just go DJI? If they're not very focused on very small quads like tiny whoops, if you're not very serious about racing and you just need that latency, and if you have the budget, I just think that DJI is the choice that will make that person the happiest. And that's not just based on my opinion, but also based on a whole lot of other people who've bought it. Bruce Kenny, this is a Q&A. It is. It's great. Fat Shark has recently started a commitment to 2-week development updates, and they've just released their first one, I believe. That's awesome. That kind of connection with the FPV community is amazing. They've added the the Betaflight MSP DisplayPort functionality. That's amazing. That's something that people have been begging DJI to do and they haven't done. So that's an aspect that helps give a little bit of advantage. Hold on, I'm going to try to tell my wife to shut my dog up. I don't know if you guys can hear him barking. Athix in the Discord says, my racer buddy said shark bite's like wet toilet paper. It breaks if you blow on it too hard. Yeah. I've heard that there's some durability issues with it. So, best starter goggles for $200, Skylar Bird. I would say the Skyzone Cobra. Let me do a couple more of these super chats. Let's work our way back. Josh Feltz, thanks for a $5 super chat. Do you have a good macro or tool for generating affiliate Bitly links? So for generating affiliate links, I use AutoHotkey, AHK, AutoHotkey. It is a macro program. Basically, if I want to create an affiliate link, like check it out. I'll show you one. Like if I go to, nope, wrong window. Sorry guys, that's going to keep happening because the power cycle flipped my monitors. So OBS thinks the left monitor is the right and the right monitor is the left. So if we go to Race Day Quads and we just look up a product, like any product, doesn't matter. I've got a macro set up so I can just type, /RDQ ? And it puts my affiliate code on there. So I've just built those macros in AutoHotkey, and that's usually how I do it. For getFPV, I would just type /getFPV. Boom, it just fills in the affiliate codes. And then for Bitly, I have a plugin for Chrome that instantly makes a Bitly link out of the current URL. So, yeah. That's how I do it. Is there a reason people don't use 1.3 gigahertz video on quads? They do. They absolutely do, especially if they want longest possible range. The reason it's not more common is, number one, the video transmitters and receivers, there's like only 2 of them, and only one of them is worth having. The Ready-Made RC 1.3 gigahertz, I think. There's a Maytech one and a Ready-Made RC, and from what I hear, the Ready-Made RC is the best. So there's really only one 1.3 gig video transmitter and receiver, and the other thing is that you need a ground station. It's not an in-goggle module. The Maytech one is an in-goggle module, but in some tests I've seen it doesn't perform as well, and the antennas are larger. So 1.3 gig is just a little bit of a hassle. Skylar Bird says, if getFPV trustworthy? I was reading the rules and they seem suspicious. What rules, Skylar Bird? Bubby, you can get smaller antennas on 1.3 gig. Like there's a, I think it's called a side entry 1.3 gigahertz antenna. You can get some smaller antennas. Wrong window again. Sorry guys, that's going to keep happening. Side feed, that's what they call it. So this is a 1.3 gig antenna, and you can see from the size of the SMA connector how big it is. It's relatively small. They've managed somehow to make it this smaller. A simple linear dipole or monopole is going to be quite long. I think most people would consider getFPV to be trustworthy. Zipperlips FPV, thanks for a $5 super chat. I just bought a boatload of Thunderpower lunar landers. Did I screw up? I have not tested the lunar lander. Mr. Steele likes them, though, so they're probably not bad. There. Yeah, Boyd. I mean, say what you will about Mr. Steele. Usually his products are not crap, right? Yeah, Boyd, thanks for a $5 super chat. My charger doesn't have a lithium ion setting. Can I use the LiPo setting for charging my lithium ion packs? Boyd, most lithium ions today are safe to 4.2 volts. Once upon a time, there were lithium ions that were only rated to be charged up to like 4.15. These days, it's almost always safe to charge a lithium ion to 4.2. I would just use the LiPo setting. Eric LaPlante, thanks for a $5 super chat. Saw you on the Facebook iNav group asking questions about GPS optimizations a while back. When are you going to release that video? Interesting question, Eric LaPlante. I am a firm believer that I don't want to release any information where I'm not significantly sort of advancing the body of knowledge. And I asked questions about GPS optimizations, and as I read the answers, I realized how much I didn't know about GPS and GPS optimizations. And I realized that guys like Pavel Swikowski are so much more knowledgeable about that stuff. And I put that video on hold because I realized that I thought I knew some things to say about that. I was like, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And I actually recorded a whole bunch of that content. And after I talked to the folks on the iNav group, I realized that some of the things I thought were not true, and other things I thought were true but weren't actually as useful as I thought they were going to be. And there was a whole bunch of other stuff that I didn't even know to think about. And I was like, I thought I was almost done with the video. And I was like, you know what? Before I release this video, I should go ask the guys on the iNav group if there's anything I've forgotten. As if. But it turns out there was a bunch of stuff I didn't even know. And I was like, oh, shoot. If there's this big gaping hole that I didn't even know I had in my knowledge, maybe I shouldn't release this video because it would not actually be, it wouldn't be helpful and wouldn't be correct. So I've put that video on hold until I mean, really the thing to do is to just let Pavel Swikowski release that video because he's the one who knows the stuff. Zipperlips, thanks for another $5. Comrade Bardwell, how can I be sure I've set up RPM filtering properly and it is operational? I've been on KISS for a while. Zipperlips, if you enable bidirectional D-Shot in the configuration tab, and then you go to the motors tab and you see 0% errors, you know that bidirectional D-Shot is working. Also, the motors won't spin if you've done it wrong. So that's the first step. Then you go to the filters tab and you enable the RPM filter. And then there's another setting you need to change in the dynamic filter that optimizes the dynamic filter. I've got videos about how to set that up. But basically, get bidirectional D-Shot working and enable the RPM filter in the filters tab. That's the short version. 0000419, thanks for $5. You did, in fact, get the first super chat. I'm going to email you an issue to see if you can help me out. Okay, well, I'll check that out. Oh my God, we've had so many more super chats. Todd Tube says Pavel is a little annoying. As someone, I feel like Pavel and I are kindred spirits. We even look a little alike. So I'm probably also a little annoying. Is Orca working on digital? They say they are. OmniDroid. They say they are. But they're not going to release it until they have something to release. Cyclimbo, I don't know about that, man. People are talking about a day at the range. Were his super chats lucrative? I mean, I probably made $50 off him. I don't know. He left a couple big super chats. YouTube takes 30% of the super chats. I might have made $50-$60 off him. I don't know if I'd call that lucrative. I appreciate any super chats people give, though. That's for sure. What's the deal with the linchpin contest? Somebody asked in the chat. The linchpin contest is proceeding. I believe they have the cutoff date. I think they pushed back the cutoff date. I'm not sure how they met. I guess they must have gotten permission from the people who entered to change the date. Give them more time. The deadline, here we go. Deadline to submit entry videos is April 1st. And then this finalist's date is incorrect. They didn't update that when they changed the entry video deadline. So the linchpin contest is still going. I heard from somebody that, what's the guy's name who built the linchpin? MPL. Oh, shoot, I'm blanking on his name. I heard that Terry had actually been sent one of his linchpins and the equipment to fly it, and was actually interested in trying it out. Cyclimbo, it could have been more than $50. I mean, honestly, I don't. There's no way for me to know, because I'm not even sure I get emailed super chats, and there's no that you can get super chat amounts, like on this live stream you made so much in super chats, but there's no way to break it out historically by person. Maybe I made $100 off him. That's not nothing. Anyway, the thing is, I read all the super chats that I get, so it's not like there was any motivation to. I mean, I just read his super chats. How would you FPV a linchpin? Good question, License to Drive. Terry has an idea about that, but I will wait until he's ready to reveal the mystery. Mark Elliott, thanks for a $15 super chat. I'm new to FPV, getting ready to build the JB DJI build. How important is GPS? Mark Elliott, I would rather see you put a self-powered buzzer, like the V-Fly Finder buzzer. I'd rather see you put a self-powered buzzer on there than a GPS. I mean, a GPS is somewhat useful, but a self-powered buzzer, I think, is going to help you more if you had to pick one. Betaflight's GPS support is extremely rudimentary. And so, in general, I don't think you should rely on it. If you're in a situation where there's a risk of you completely losing the quad, and you've got nothing to lose anyway, you may as well rely on GPS rescue. But Grizz FPV, thanks for $5. Are you going to be reviewing the 250? I would like to review the 250. That's Tommy's 250-gram frame. Anybody who claims they've built a sub 250-gram 5-inch that is worth a damn has my attention. But when it comes from somebody like Tommy, who is a really good frame designer, I'm intrigued. How do I give you money without giving YouTube 30%? Braden Whitfield. I don't know for sure, Braden, but I'm pretty sure that talking to you about ways to avoid giving YouTube a cut of the super chat revenue is against their terms of service. Like, I don't know for sure. So all I have to say is that YouTube provides a valuable service in making it possible for me to basically making my whole career possible, and I'm happy to pay them their cut of the super chats. They earn it. So, and that's all I have to say about that. Thank you, YouTube. It means a lot. That 30% is, you have every right to it. And everybody out there should leave super chats so that YouTube gets their 30%. Yep. Oh, Master at Disaster, thanks for a $2 super chat. What's a good beginner micro quad? Emax Tiny Hawk. Like, if I just have to pick one, just like put a gun to my head and said, name a beginner quad, a micro, Emax Tiny Hawk. That's what I'm going to spit out. There's other good ones. Newbie Drone makes a good tiny whoop. The Newbie Drone Hummingbird Pro, if you're interested in tiny whoop racing, Newbie Drone Hummingbird or Hummingbird Pro, excellent. Excellent. There's many other good ones. The Tiny Hawk is like super durable. It's relatively easy to fly. I think it's a great choice. I hear Nick Burns has taken over the chat. That's great. help as many people as possible. Subscribe to Nick Burns' Patreon. Nick, am I a patron of yours? I think I am. Let's see if I'm a patron of Nick's. I try to Patreon just about everybody in FPV who I know of who has a Patreon. Let's see. Manage my memberships. Let's see. Who do I have Patreon with? I support Betaflight, of course, without whom I probably wouldn't have a career. I support Emu Flight. Lee Schofield. You don't know this guy. He's just a YouTuber I like. Stu, Let's Drone Out, Curry Kitten, Zoe, Drone Mesh, Michael Rollins. Is he still producing content? I don't Patreon you if you stop making content. Ciotti, of course, UAV Tech, Bruce Simpson, Bot Grinder, Micro NRC, Albert Kim, Nick Burns. There you are, buddy. I do. Thank you for being so active in the chat. There you go. Who else has a Patreon that I should be subbed to? What happened to Stu? 2017 Toyota Camry asks, what happened to UAV Tech? No one really knows. He made a post saying that, he was okay, just working on some personal stuff. I think he took a break. I think Michael Rollins took a break. Eddie Nunez says, how much is your Patreon bill? I don't know, man. However much. Yeah, Bubby, make a Patreon. Make a Patreon, dude. I'm pretty sure if I encouraged people and told them how to avoid YouTube getting a cut, they wouldn't like that. I got a community guideline strike once because I posted a video of mine and I said, if you would like to download this video so you could use it in Blackbox Explorer, here is a tool that'll let you download the YouTube video. And I got a community guideline strike for linking to a tool that lets you download YouTube videos, which is in violation of their community standards. So, Tweet FPV, does he have a patron? Tweet FPV. All right. Tweet FPV, mini quad and drone content. 34 patrons. All right. Tweet FPV. Let's go. Let's go, boy. Tweet FPV, $5. It's kombucha time. Boom. Boom. Done. I think Michael Rollins took a break. That's why I asked if he's still making content. I think he took a break. I could be wrong. I am supporting Pavel Spakowski. I am supporting Drone Mesh already. I just went through the list. I just went through the list. Kebab, does he have a Patreon? Really? I didn't know he has a business. Oh my God, he has a Patreon. He has a business. He has a store. No. I don't know. If you have, it's like if it'd be like if Tyler Brennan started a Patreon. I'd be like, dude, if I want to support you, I just buy products from your store. I don't know about that. Kebab FPV has a Patreon. I'm not sure I'm going to sub him for $5. I'm not sure about that. When did he last post? When did he last post? February 25th. Oh, he is active. Well, sort of active. I don't know about that one. I'm not sure. I'll think about that one. Okay. Yeah, I try to be generous with my support for other folks in FPV coming on up. If you make content and you have a Patreon, let me know. I mean, probably most people are not going to do that. They're going to be like, "Hey, Bardwell, can I get my $5?" But I do try to be pretty generous with my support for other people. People are very generous with me. Never did sign up for a day at the range, though. All right, continuing. Israel Castellan, thanks for a $10. He is a dentist. Yeah, he's a dentist, a cosmetic dentist. He also has an FPV company. Go figure. Israel Castellan, thanks for a $10 super chat. I followed your video and flashed my iFlight Beast H7 with the latest JESC firmware. When I activate RPM filtering and plug my battery in, one of the motors is 100% error. How can I fix it? Israel, I'm very sorry to say you cannot fix it. The iFlight Beast H7 does not currently support bidirectional D-shot on all 4 motors. It is a bug in their Betaflight implementation. There is a GitHub topic about it where they talk about it. It is not fixed as of today, and there is no workaround. You just can't do that. And you can ping iFlight and open a case. I encourage you to, if you have the iFlight Beast H7, I encourage you to politely, please don't say, Bardwell told me to bug you about this. Please don't do that. But I encourage you to open a case and say, hey, RPM filtering isn't working for me. Can you let me know when this is fixed? Okay? That's what I would say. They're aware of it. Bad for life. I don't think that it's an issue with Jazz Maverick or whatever. I think it's an issue with the hardware on the Beast H7. That's what the GitHub issue seemed to suggest. Does It's Blunty have a Patreon? Oh, I will totally support him. It's Blunty? That guy. I mean, technically I already pay him. Technically, I mean, he does a lot for me behind the scenes. Is super, super helpful and super important on my channel. He also does the news with me. But yeah, 3 or 10. We'll go 10. I guess I could do custom. We'll go 10. We'll go 5. Oh. All right, we'll go 10. What? No, why? Why $100? Wait, no. Wait, what is this $100? Why are we No, stop. Oh, I typed too many zeros. Jesus. I almost hit confirm on that. Boom. That's my bad. Definitely him. Do I have Mute F? I think I already have Mute FPV. He's amazing. He makes such great videos. Mute FPV makes such great videos. Fatty FPV will never understand It's Blunty's attraction. Hey, man. To each their own. All right. Riding Durance, thanks for a $10 super chat. Is there a pre-made cable for powering the Hoda D6 Pro to an XT60? I think that would be female to female. I can't seem to find one. Riding Durance, I don't think there is a pre-made one. Wait, no. You just plug the XT60 into the back of the D6 Pro. It just plugs into the back. It has the correct plug already. So I must be missing something, Riding. The plug in the back of the D6 Pro is a standard LiPo plug. So maybe I'm missing something. Let me know. ZTag RC, thanks for a $5 super chat. Ever tried Instamorph instead of 3D prints? They're essentially moldable plastic pellets. I'm familiar with Instamorph. Chad Capper loves Instamorph. I mean, he used to love Chad Capper got into 3D printing a few years back. When he was with the flight test, he used to love Instamorph. And there was actually Instamorph actually featured in a flight test video, if my memory is correct. I have never been super excited about Instamorph just because the results are kind of clunky. Like, I'm sure that some people are really good at Instamorph, maybe. But, like, the results to me, like, I know what I've made out of Play-Doh in the past. And it looks kind of crappy and really ugly and chunky and wasteful and heavy. Why is this webpage not loading? I don't know. It's pretty cool. If you don't have a 3D printer, Instamorph why is this website not loading? I don't know. it's a pretty cool way to custom fabricate something. But if you have a 3D printer, I think that's the way to go. Then again, Instamorph, I mean, maybe it's faster. I don't know. Peter N., thanks for a $5 super chat. I'm going to build your JB HD drone. Does it come in 4S? Yes, it does. You can select the KV from the product page. Ghost Branch FPV. Where'd you go, Ghost Branch? Oh my God, we have so many super chats. There's going to be just super chats for the whole stream. Now, I'll try not to let that happen. Ghost Branch had a fun time playing Velocidrone Combat with you and Ciati last Sunday. We're not going to be doing it this Sunday. By the way, this Sunday I will be traveling to Asheville, North Carolina. I will be going to the very first test screening of Flow State, the FPV drone documentary. It's a movie about FPV, a documentary about FPV that I am helping make happen. And very excited. Of a small select audience of friends, family, and cast. We're renting a theater in Asheville to do a showing. I already sat through the film once with James Christensen. He's technically the director. He's also the editor. He's also he's just hand making this whole freaking film. And every so often I pay for something. And then occasionally I go, hey, what if this was like this? And but mostly he's making the film, and I'm just sort of kicking in money and occasionally ideas. But where was I going with that? Oh, I sat through the film once with him, and this will be the first time anybody other than us has seen the whole film. So there will be no live stream next Sunday. B-Man FPV said, I did much better at Velocidrone Combat than you thought I would. What's that supposed to mean? What did you think was going to happen? No, I also expected to suck. I hung in there. Here's a secret if you're playing Velocidrone Combat. Find the missiles. Find the missiles. And then just hide in the corner of the map and wait for somebody and just shoot them with a missile and then run away. Ghost Branch, thanks for a €5 super chat. Starting a pay for those lipos and release the results fund. No, don't. I appreciate the donation. I'm not going to crowdfund anything related to battery testing ever again. I crowdfunded the battery test machine. I raised $4,000 to buy it, and I am not happy with the quality and quantity of results that I've put out in the years since I've bought it. And if I had paid for it myself, I wouldn't give a damn. But the fact that I crowdfunded it, now, I mean, I feel like having just released 70 batteries worth of testing, I mean, that's something. I mean, I feel like I feel good about that. But I'm definitely never crowdfunding another project like that ever again if I can possibly avoid it. Because every time I think about it, I think that I haven't really lived up to the promises I made, and I don't feel good about that. But I also don't know how to actually deliver what I hoped to be able to deliver. So. Nick W, $5 for the mods. Thank you, Nick. Abraham, thank you for $5. I DM'd you a quick chemistry lesson explaining corrosion to clarify some misunderstandings from yesterday's stream. Thank you for that, Abraham. Where's that at? I was talking about corrosion. He says to clear out somebody dunked their quad in the water. Distilled water. I assure you that distilled water will cause corrosion. Proper chemical term is oxidation, not corrosion, and the oxygen in the water causes corrosion, even in the case of ultra-pure water. Absolutely pure water will not conduct electricity, but it will still cause corrosion. The whole point of using ethanol or isopropyl alcohol is that it evaporates quickly and allows less time for corrosion to occur. Rinsing salt water and lake water off with distilled water is good to remove salt and other things that expedite oxidation by driving the water equilibrium reaction to the right and creating more hydroxide. So distilled water is better than nothing, but removing the water entirely is the best way to prevent corrosion altogether. Alcohols or other rapidly evaporating liquids are the best way to do that. So rinsing a quad with distilled water is okay, but it would be ideal to follow that with alcohol to prevent oxidation and corrosion. Thank you for that, Abraham. Sounds like you're saying I was right, that distilled water is better, but alcohol is best. I mean, I'm just going to interpret anything you say as backing me up in some way. Grizz GP says, just put it in rice. Grizz, I heard from a guy whose day job is restoring electronics. And he said, don't use rice. Obviously, some people use rice and it works. What he said is that moving air is the best way to dry something out. But as Abraham, so you want to put it in front of a fan and just leave it there for like 24 hours, 48 hours. Rice is not ideal. The other thing to keep in mind is that, as Abraham says, drying it isn't is still, I mean, you're still going to get some corrosion, so an alcohol bath would be best. Abis, thank you for a $5 super chat. I want to get into FPV. I have about 70 hours in the simulator. I plan to get the bundle with DJI goggle and radio. With 70 hours in the simulator, you get whatever you want, man. Anybody want to see JB make a tricopter? Asks Will B. Doesn't matter. I'm not making a tricopter. Tricopters flew like crap back in the day, but quadcopters flew worse like crap because they had no yaw authority. Now that we have ESCs with braking, quadcopters have great yaw authority. I firmly believe there is no reason to build a tricopter today, except if you just like tricopters, in which case more power to you. There's no practical reason to build a tricopter. Thank you, Ken Piper, for a $2 super chat. Thanks, Wanna Get Fly, for a $5 super chat. How do you configure the VTX switch on a flight controller like the Z's F7? What VTX switch do you mean? Does it have a pit mode built in? Is that what you mean? Let's look. I'm looking at this product page for the Z's F7 to see if it has pit mode built in or anything like that. What's the VTX switch do you mean? VTX switch to control on-off of the VTX. Okay, so how do you set it up? Is there a manual? Let's look at the manual. Okay. I mean, this is how I do my job, guys. You ask me a question, the first thing I do is I look at the manual. And then I tell you the answer. I ain't mad about it, though. Join my Patreon. I'll look up the manual for you all day. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Receiver. Receiver. VTX chapter. Okay. Assign the aux you prefer from your radio to turn on and off the VTX from the transmitter from user 1 mode in Betaflight. So in the Betaflight modes tab, there is a mode predefined, user 1. You need to set a switch to activate that aux mode. When that aux mode is active, the VTX will be active. Now, if you need to know how to set up aux switches, I will refer you to this video. Shh, Joshua, shh. In this video, I show how to set up aux modes. Want to get fly? I will ping you to that video. Make the user 1 aux mode active. That's the short version. Samuel Viega Cruz, thanks for 7 Canadian dollars. Braden Whitfield, thanks for 7 Canadian dollars. There were 2 people who left the same donation, one right after the other. Brandon Oman, thanks for $10. TBS Crossfire TX Lite. Do I need to flash Open TX to my Tyrannus X9D Plus to have Crossfire Lewis scripts on my Tyrannus? Can TBS Crossfire Lite control everything with joystick on the Crossfire module? Brandon, the TBS Crossfire Lite can do everything with the joystick that you need to do. You do not need to install the Lewis script if you don't want to. Some people find that the Lewis script is more convenient, especially the new Agent Lite Lewis script. It's your call whether you want to do that. Having to turn the radio over and turn it back over again, some people don't like, but you can do everything with the Lite module. LCV FPV. I don't see you on Patreon, man. Do you have any content? Let's see. There he is. LCV FPV. 0 patrons, $0 a month. Okay, so my rule is you have to have content before I'll patron you. I don't want to Patreon people who aren't making any content. Hit me up when you got some content, though. Sometimes people say, yeah, I'm just going to start making... as soon as I get some patrons, I'm going to start making content. Nope, you got it backwards. I'm not accusing you of having said that. I have seen people do that, though. They're like, well, I want to start a YouTube channel, and the first thing I need to do is GoFundMe $5,000 for gear. And I'm like, you don't know. No. First of all, here's what you need to start a YouTube channel. Boom. Start with your phone. Start making content. You guys ever see those old movies? Frickin' M. Night Shyamalan. You know him, the movie director, Sixth Sense? Uh-oh. How am I out of disk space? How am I out of disk space? That's not possible. Why am I out of disk space? Hold on. Sorry. Why am I out of disk space? Is it the proxies? Oh. Okay, delete those. Sorry, guys. Pause that thought for a second. Oh, that sucks. My recording just got interrupted. That sucks. Oh. It's taking up space on my D drive. Let's delete some video games. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, gone. I don't know why. These are all... Adobe Cache. I don't know if I want to clear my Adobe Cache. Epic Games, no. Got to delete Fortnite. Origin Games, nothing. Steam Library. Who's gone? Who's kicked off the hard drive? Deep Rock Galactic. Haven't played you in a while. You're gone. Portal 2. You can go. Are we? Yeah. Tom Clancy's The Division. Nah, you can go. Let's clear up some space here. Too late now. The recording has already stopped. Portal 2. You can go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. M. Night Shyamalan, when he was a kid, making frickin' movies. Portal 2 will come back. We're just not playing it right now. M. Night Shyamalan, when he's a kid, shot movies on like a little 8mm, 16mm, whatever, video camera. VHS, I don't know what it was. He shot movies on this crappy little video camera. My point is that if you want to start making content, don't wait to get the right equipment. Just start making content. Gus Johnson, YouTube comedian, got something like a few million subscribers, whatever that works out to. His very first videos, he made them on a freaking phone. Okay? Start making content because you want to make content. Then make better. Then get better equipment after that. All right, 466 gig free. Are we happy now? Okay. Need a bigger drive. Will I review the Cadix Peanut when it comes out? I will be more likely to review the Cadix Peanut than the Insta360 Go 2. The Cadix Peanut is a little more interesting. I think it's going to be cheaper. It's is going to be cheaper. $300 for the Insta 360 Go 2 is a big ask. Yeah. Chris H, how was Deep Rock Galactic? I liked Deep Rock. I thought Deep Rock Galactic was really fun. I'm a big fan of horde style games because it is the players against the computer. When it's players against players, I just get pwned all night by 8-year-olds who want to teabag me and insult my mother. I'm just not there. Anytime there's player versus player, it has to be ranked lobby. And even then, the people who are much better than me and who are working their way up the ranks tend to wreck me. But Deep Rock Galactic is a horde style game where you have to like mine your dwarves, and you're like futuristic space sci-fi dwarves, and you have to go underground into caves on these planets and mine ore and kill bugs. And I had a great time playing it. Unfortunately, my son's attention span is about 36 hours, so we played it a lot for like 3 days, and then he was on to the next thing. And I was like, don't you want to play Deep Rock Galactic with Daddy? He's like, sorry, Dad. You can. He'll say, you can play that by yourself. I'll be like, thanks. I know that. So. That was a great game. I thought it was a great game. It's 4 players versus computer enemies. There's a progression system. You level up, you get better equipment. There's class system. So there's only like 4 classes though. So in any given lobby, you'll end up with 2 or 3. It's. I thought it was really fun. All right. Mike Chin, thank you for 20 pesos. Why is Mike Chin? Is this Mike Chin from TBS? I thought he lived in the U.S. Why is he paying me in pesos? I don't know. Mike O, thank you for a $5 super chat. All you have to do is type YouTube video downloader into Google and try the first 2 links. I know, you're going back to that was a long time ago. You're going back to that community guidelines strike that I got. Yeah, I know, but I'm not allowed to mention it. Samuel Viega Cruz, thanks for $7 I'm having a lot of noise on my AKK 1-watt from Rice Day quads. I tried everything. It started getting noisy since I activated smart audio. Help, please. So here's a general troubleshooting tip to everybody. Whenever you find yourself thinking, ever since I did X, I'm having problem Y, the very first thing you should do is go back and undo the thing that you did. And a lot of times people say, how could turning on smart audio have made me have more video noise? Doesn't even make sense. Don't care. If you say, ever since I started wearing red shirts, I've had a pain in my elbow. Those things could not possibly be related. The very first thing you should do is stop wearing red shirts and see if the pain goes away. So you activated smart audio. Now you have video noise. The very first thing you should do is deactivate smart audio and see if the video noise goes away. And if so, then you can ponder why and how to fix it. But in the meantime, you got to figure out if that association is true. Cyclimbo, thank you for a $5 super chat. Have you heard of this great site, fpvknowitall.com? Oh, yeah. It's a great way to find out about all the gear that I recommend. Thank you for the opportunity to plug my website, fpvknowitall.com. Okay, I've been working hard on updating this recently. I really want to update this. The very first time I made this years ago, this was 2 years ago easily, maybe more. God. Most people were flying 5 inches and some tiny whoops, but mostly 5 inches. I swear that's true. Now, everybody's flying 3 inches, 4 inches, 2.5, tiny whoops, 5 inches, 7 inches. I really want to rearrange this site based around quadcopter classes rather than like frames, flight controllers. But God, it's going to be so much freaking work. And I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm going to get around to it eventually, but that is Mike Chin. Mike Chin just paid me in pesos because he had to download a VPN in the Asian. Why pesos? Why not dollars? Are you in the U.S.? Okay. There are no Bitly links on my site, Mo. That is correct. On my site, I have, it's my website. I know how many times you click the link. I have Google Analytics for that. Isaac Mitchell, thanks for $2 super chat. Love Blunty. We are really far behind on the super chats. Holy crap! No, we're not that far behind. Okay, let me get him out of the way. Irimi 2007, thanks for $5. Does It's Blunty refer to Mr. Blunty's extracurricular activities off camera? Irimi, Blunty is a professional cannabis consultant in Denver, Colorado, where it is legal to be such a thing. He actually used to, if I remember correctly, he used to run a grow operation for somebody. And if he talks about it, he says things like, I used to run a 47 gigawatt grow. And referring to, I guess, the amount of lights they had, and that's how you size a grow. I didn't know that. Nowadays he just consults. He does cannabis consulting for other people who run grows, and that's where his name comes from. Fuman Ciano, thanks for a $10 super chat. Is it still good practice to chamfer the edges of a new frame? Yeah, you don't have to, but it's as good or bad as it always ever was. Some people argue that it reduces the strength of the arms. It certainly helps you from cutting your battery straps, though. That's for sure. When tuning a 7-inch quad, what tuning differences should I take in consideration compared to a 5-inch? Here's how I'm going to answer that question. I'm going to answer that question by sending you to theuavtech.com. Theuavtech.com. And he has on his website some tuning presets. Oh, it's all the way on the left. You didn't see me click it. Tuning presets. And if we look at his tuning presets for a 5-inch, we can see here are his suggestions for a 5-inch. And here are his suggestions for a 6 or 7-inch freestyle cruiser. So Mark Spatz is one of the most knowledgeable tuners, I think, out there today. And I almost always defer to him when tuning questions come up. Now notice that he gives the same tune for 4 and 6S rigs. But he has different presets for the PD balance and so forth. He's pushed PD balance, PD gain, and stick response up for the 7-inch. Chris G, thank you for a $2 super chat. Dog, pig, what animals at Casa de Bardwell? We have a dog. At the moment, that is the only pet that we have. We had some pigs for a while. The pigs are no longer with us. If you need me to explain where the pigs went, they went to a beautiful farm where they still carouse around the fields, rooting happily. Steam is looking for an update. Oh yeah, let me get right on that. It's a very cold farm. Some would say almost freezer-like. Fern Blitz, thanks for a $5 super chat. Purchase the MA2 Fly More. Want to become really good at capturing some cinematic footage. I live in the Rockies. What brand and setup? What's the MA2 Fly More no filters? Oh my God, stop. What's the MA2 Fly More no filters? I'm not even sure what that is. What is that? Oh, the Mavic Air 2. Thank you. The Mavic Air 2 Fly More combo. What brand and setup? I'm so Fernblitz. I'm so confused at this question. I apologize. You purchased the Mavic Air 2 Fly More, and you want to become good at capturing some cinematic footage. What brand and setup? What brand? You just bought the DJI Mavic Air. What brand are you asking about? Are you looking for a recommendation on filter brands? Can anybody help me understand this question? Mavic Air 2. Oh, Fernblitz is in the chat. What brand and setup are you asking, man? In about 10 seconds, they'll catch up. For ND filters, I mean, I don't have a Mavic Air 2, so I can't really speak from personal experience. Polar Pro makes great filters, though, right? I probably would recommend Polar Pro, just on the name. But I don't know. I don't have a DJI. I don't have a Mavic Air, so maybe there's some great filter. That Freewell? Yeah? Freewell? Sure. Danius Ratkavikius. What's the best HD action camera recommendation? Price, durability, etc. I mean, surely it's going to be a GoPro, right? I fly Hero 7 on most of my quads. You can get refurbished Hero 7 for a very reasonable price. You can't get insurance on them very easily. Hero 8, you can still get at Best Buy probably with insurance. Hero 9 for sure. But as far as price and durability goes, there's its Blunty. I knew it came out of the blue. Bardwell's talking about you. Polar Pro or Freewell for filters are what people are telling me. Blunty says the grow he ran has around 600 kilowatts of light, 440K in flower, 160K in veg. I have no idea what that means. The light, I know. Flower and veg. What? I thought we were talking about marijuana. Marijuana is not a vegetable. What are you talking about? CMYKFPV, thanks for a $2 super chat. C Young 300, thanks for a $10 super chat. That says thank you for the invaluable information. Todd Tube, thank you for 667 super chat. I've always charged my 450 milliamp hour batteries at 0.4 amps. Can I or should I charge at 0.5 amps? Todd Tube, man, you are way overthinking this. Like, I almost never will say that someone is overthinking lipo safety, but here it is. 1C is a very rough guideline. The difference between 0.4 and 0.5 amps doesn't freaking matter. Doesn't freaking matter. Especially because those 450 milliamp hour batteries are probably not exactly 450 milliamp hours, depending on how you measure it. So it just doesn't matter. Charge at 0.4, charge at 0.5, doesn't matter. I will say this. You could charge a pack at 2C. I don't think there's any practical difference between charging at 1C and charging at 2C. Now, if you charge at 2C and you burn your house down, my lawyer says that you aren't allowed to sue me. Charging lipos, whether you're charging at 1C or 2C or 5C, same safety guidelines apply. Don't leave them alone. Charge in some place where a fire can be dealt with. Have fire all the guidelines apply. Now, let's set aside the question of fire safety and assume that you have taken care of that. And let's just talk about the health of your batteries. Charging at 1C, charging at 2C, doesn't matter. I don't think there's a significantly increased fire risk charging at 2C. 2C is still pretty freaking slow. I often charge at 4C. No, shut up. I'm going to tell him the truth. I never charge faster than 1C, and neither should you. I often charge at 4C, just because it charges faster and I want to go fly. I don't leave the batteries alone. I am in the room with them, keeping an eye on them the whole time. And as you know, if you saw the video I posted today on my channel, I have extremely low tolerance for batteries misbehaving at all. The minute a battery misbehaves, I discard it. So I'm reasonably confident that all my batteries are very healthy, and I never charge them unattended, and I charge them at 4C a lot of the time. I'm not charging parallel. What doesn't matter anyway, Bobby Bags, because C rating is relative to size of the packs. My point is, If you're charging at 1C or 1.1C or 0.9C, it doesn't matter. You're fine. It's Blunty is making a great point in the Discord. Some would argue that higher C charging encourages people to stay in the room and lowers the time you need to be in the room watching them. Absolutely true. Higher C rate charging is more likely to cause a bad cell or a damaged cell to blow up. It's absolutely true. I charge at 4C a lot of the time. It means that they're done charging in maybe 15 minutes. And I just sit there and I don't literally stare at them the whole time, but I'm there with them. And how many amps is 1C? Depends on the size of the pack. 1300 milliamp hour pack, 1C is 1.3 amps. That's how it works. I don't think that 4 or 5C charging actually reduces the lifespan of the battery at all. It's my opinion. It does make it more likely that the battery will blow up if it's damaged. But they'll usually give a sign that they're going to blow up. Anyway. Have I seen the Ender C30? Asks Athix in the Discord. Which one is the C30? Ender C30. 3D print mill C30. What is it? Oh, yeah. It's a freaking 3D printer with a conveyor belt. How do you like that? I mean, I don't have a use for it, but yeah, pretty freaking cool, huh? License to drive. Very good point. You cannot put out a battery fire. Battery fires are self-sustaining. If a battery goes off, the only thing to do is to move it to a safe place and wait for it to go out. So, if it's already on fire, then you're going to have a problem doing that potentially. CMY KFPV is asking, what would you recommend for building a storm chasing rig for thunderstorms or up to hurricanes if it's viable? I'm not sure that it's viable. I mean, the wind speed in a hurricane is faster than I think any drone can really fly. There are airplanes that fly into hurricanes, but I'm not sure that a drone that you're going to build in your house is going to be able to do that. Someone could obviously build a drone that could fly into a hurricane. It's going to be a big, a full size, like the military ones. I'm not sure what I would recommend for that. I'm not sure what the regulatory implications of flying in a thunderstorm would be either. I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to fly when you don't have visibility. So, yeah. Joey T, thanks for 10 Canadian dollars. I need some help. I just installed the FPV Cycle Blue 1880 kV motors. I need a little bit of a walkthrough on how to set them up with their settings. I think I got it, but I'm not 100% sure. What settings? What settings? Let's Google that motor and see. What kind of settings are you talking about? The Blue 1880. Oh, you mean the 5-inch. Yeah. You mean the 5-inch 1880 kV. What you need to do is you need to go into this app. You need to download this app. Where is it? The app you want is BL Heli Configurator. It looks like this. I'll get you a link to it. Hold on. This is the app that you want. Oh, no, that's the Chrome version. I'm sorry. You want the standalone version. There we go. Let's see, Joey T. Here's a link to the configurator. And you're going to connect to the ESC. I don't have a quadcopter. Do I have? Oh, I do have one handy. Hang on. I have one handy. Hang on. I'll show you even better because I got a quadcopter right here. I just did this. Look, it even has the FPV Cycle 5-inch motors on it. I literally just did this today on this exact quad. The only problem is this quad's USB port is flaky. So we'll have to see. By the way, the props are on, but I do have a smoke stopper. So don't freak out. Okay. We're going to connect. We're going to read setup. And right here in the upper left, we're going to change the startup power to 1.00. We're going to change the demag compensation to high and the motor timing to medium high. And then you're going to hit right setup down in the lower right. Right setup. That's how you're going to do those changes. Oh, I was showing a quad. Yeah, sorry. You didn't see that. I was showing this quadcopter. This is my FPV Cycle 5-inch Sedora. Fuman Shiano says, oh, thank you for another $5 super chat. FPV Luke, thanks for £5. Do you have a good cybersecurity posture? Big fan of all FPV channels. Hope you guys are protected. Security researcher here. Love to help if needed. I don't know, man. You tell me. Go break into my website. Let me know how it goes. The website is WordPress, and we've taken various. My hosting provider takes various steps to increase the security of my WordPress install, and we have various WordPress plugins to try to increase the security of the install. I have strong passwords most places. Pilot Extreme, dumping sand on a burning LiPo will stifle the flames. The LiPo is still burning. It doesn't need external oxygen to burn. It has oxidizers inside, but pouring sand on it stifles the flames and prevents secondary fires, which is a good thing, obviously. Layman Board FPV, thanks for a $5 super chat. Oh my God, we're almost caught up on the super chat. Thanks for always giving your input when I have a question. Aerospace Inc. 53, thanks for a $10 super chat. I really like the late night email streams. Chill vibe, very information dense. That's my regular build and repair time. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I'm enjoying them too. I started doing these late night email streams where I typically the first thing I do in the morning is I answer all my emails that came in overnight and other messages, and then the last thing I do for before bed is the same. But I started live streaming the late night ones to have company, and people are really liking them. You can watch those on my channel now. Why did I change to high DMAG and medium high timing, Lord Primate? That used to be what Kebab recommended. I think it's still not a bad idea. Yeah. Joey T, thanks for $2 Canadian. I have BLHeli 32.8 installed. It has a percent. BLHeli 32.8 is going to look a little different. The compensation is not going to be... let me find a BLHeli 32. I don't have a BLHeli 32 ESC handy, I'm afraid. I would have to refer you to Kebab for that one. The startup... Yeah, the startup power is a percent. Yeah. Sorry, Joey, I don't know the answer off the top of my head. All right, we're caught up on the super chats. Yes. Like an hour of super chats. Thank you guys for your generosity. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, wow. Great chat revenue tonight. Hey, Ciati, what's the equivalent startup power to 1.00 in BLES in BLA 32? Omnidroid, Pyrodrone backpack is not out yet. They're expecting samples in April. I'm looking forward to getting one. I ordered one. Moblades, I do not know the pin pitch of the majority of ESC JST plugs. What I would do is I would just go to, like, Race Day Quads is the place that I know has it, and I search for SH cable set. Come on, don't let me down. There we go. So here's this is the correct wire and pin and housing. So it looks like it's SH 1.0 for ESCs, and then Pico Blade 1.25 is the other one. JST SH 1.00. Yeah. There you go. Driftaholic says, you mentioned in a guide that when using the DJI FPV system, the S-Bus wire can't coexist with an external receiver and needs to be removed. I bought a DJI bind and fly kit, and I'm going to add tracer. If I leave S-Bus, will something bad happen? Driftaholic, you got to be careful on that one. Each UART can only have one thing on it. Now, the board that I was working with was a little toothpick all-in-one, and it only had 2 UARTs. Since it only had 2 UARTs, I had to remove S-Bus from the UART before I could put tracer on the UART. If you're dealing with like an F7 flight controller that has 6 UARTs, you could have DJI on UART 1, tracer on UART 2, Ghost on UART 3, Crossfire on UART 4. Now the thing is, you can only use one of those at a time. So in the ports tab, you're going to pick one of the UARTs and you're going to enable Serial RX. And whichever UART you enable Serial RX on, that's the receiver that you would use. The only reason I had to remove the S-Bus wire was because I only had 2 UARTs and I needed that UART for tracer. Jared Clark, I have seen the Nano Long Range from, not from Joey C. This one was from Dave C. Are you sure you don't mean Dave C? Jared Clark? We covered Dave C's Nano Long Range, his 1S Long Range on the FPV News. By the way, if you want to keep up with all the FPV news that's happening in the world, tomorrow night at 6 p.m., myself and It's Plenty will be running down the news. Live stream here on the channel. Flap Around FPV wants to know, why doesn't someone use an advanced IMU and gaming hub system to create an augmented reality system for IRL combat with gaming content embedded in the 3D environment? Flap Around, there was a system, maybe it still exists, the Epson Moviero goggles. Let me show you those. These people came to me and asked me if I wanted to review this. And I'll tell you why I didn't review it in a second. But these are the Epson Moviero goggles, and they have augmented reality built in. So if you're flying with a DJI drone, they can create a race course in the sky, and you can fly through the virtual gates in the sky. Then I was like, that's pretty cool. Can you do it with an FPV drone? And they said no. And the reason they couldn't do it with an FPV... Oh, here we go. Look at this. Augmented reality and racing. Can we share the sound? I guess this probably doesn't have music. Maybe it does. Here, we'll turn the sound off. I don't want to take a chance on getting a copyright strike. Oh yeah, let's get our frickin' one wheels out while we're at it. Sure. Oh my God, look at this guy. What a sexy beast. Look at this. Look at his amazing hair. Do you not want to be this man? This man is about to rock in the desert with his DJI controller and his Epson Moviero goggles and his hair whipping in the wind. Oh my God. I'm so turgid right now. Boom. Get your one wheel. Hey, brah. Hey, brah. Brah, you want to go out to the desert? Yeah, brah. When don't I want to go to the desert? Brah, you going to bring your one wheel? Don't bring my one wheel to the bathroom, brah. Brah, get your Mavic, brah. Chase me with your Mavic. Brah, you going to bring the Epson Moviero goggles? You know it, brah. Oh, get your one wheel, brah. Oh, yeah. Take off your Mavic and chase me with your one wheel? Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. Hey, brah. Brah, you gonna let me ask you something. Are you gonna tighten up your chin strap on your helmet, brah? Nah, brah. Tight chin straps are so lame. I like my helmet to come off when I crash. Yeah, me too, brah. Keep these head. We're cool. We're gonna be cool, and we're gonna keep our chin straps loose. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nod. Listen, brah. Nod at me if you agree. Tight chin straps are lame for losers. Yeah, brah. Tight chin straps are for losers. Okay, let's go. All right, let's go. Oh, yeah. Full throttle, bro. Full throttle. Yeah. Oh, look at that grin. Look at that grin. He's turgid. What about the racing? Were you going to show me the racing? Wait a second. Hang on. Wait. Anytime you see it, like, as a musician, like, I have played guitar at one time in my life. Anytime I see someone in a commercial or a movie playing guitar, I immediately rewind and look at their hands and see if they're actually playing the guitar. Let's do that right here. Same thing. What's he doing with the controller? Is it legit? It looks semi-legit. Is he at full throttle, though? I can't tell. It looks semi-legit. Maybe. Oh, yeah, brah. These goggles are so hot, brah. What the fuck are we doing? Oh, yeah. Hey, where you gonna put that thing? Where you gonna put the baton when he gives it to you? Your belt? Nah, I'm gonna stick it in my boot. Are you worried about it? Yeah, I'm sticking it in my boot. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Whee! What does this have to do with the goggles? What does this have to do? Oh, yeah. What does this have to do with the goggles? We're not learning anything about the goggles. All we know is that whatever he's seeing in there is making him grin. What is happening? We haven't learned anything about the goggles. Maybe if the sound was on, I would be learning something about the goggles. I am watching it without sound. Oh, hey, bro. Check your chin strap, bro. Loosen it up. Loosen up that chin strap. Hey, let me ask you something. We're doing a relay race, right? Yeah. Let me ask you, are you going to be on the why don't we sit on the quad bike so when we get the baton we can just go? Nah. I'm going to be standing next to the quad bike. You going to have the engine running, idling? Nah, it's going to be dead. Is it going to make you slower? Yep. Crazy like a fox. Okay. And before I go, I'm going to look over and just nod at the other guy because we're racing, but I don't want to get too far ahead. What does this have to do with the goggles? I haven't learned anything about the goggles. Oh, yeah, thanks for bringing me that baton. That's really great. It's a Le Mans start. Now they're all going to look at... Okay, this was completely useless. Oh, here we go. Here we go. He's getting the stats in the goggles. He's watching the feed in the goggles. This is completely useless, and I was entertained. What was I trying to find? What was I trying to show you? Oh, oh my God. Augmented reality flight simulator. This is the video I should have shown you. This is the one. This is a super chat, by the way. Don't forget. Oh God. Okay, please. Can we, okay. But can we, it's a flight simulator. This is an augmented reality flight simulator. Epson Moviero goggles. Look at this shit. Okay, anyway. All right. So my point is, one of the apps they had for this was an augmented reality racing app where they would put gates in the goggles and you would fly through them. But the problem, I said, can it work with an FPV drone? And they said no, because you need the position sensing. The system has to know where the drone is at in order to then draw the gates in, and an FPV drone doesn't have the sensors to do that. So the bottom line is, augmented reality would require accurate position sensing, and FPV drones don't tend to have that, and that's why augmented reality doesn't work so good for FPV drones. That's the answer. T. Simon in the Discord says, all the lameness of wearing FPV goggles without any of the fun. The other thing was that they're augmented reality goggles, so they don't shut out, and that's a selling point for them. But for FPV, you want to shut out the external environment. So I just didn't think it was a good fit for my channel. Brah. Ben T, thank you for a $10 super chat. I play guitar and bass. Let's start a band. I haven't played in a long time, man. Zipper Lips, thanks for a $2 super chat. $2 for my shrink. Risky Biscuits, thank you for a $5 super chat. I just want to say thanks, man. I took an unexpected break for about a year, and your content has made it a breeze to get back in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Doghouse FPV points out in the Discord, Epson is marketing those goggles as a way to legally be keeping line of sight while also watching the FPV video feed. Yep. There's something to that. There's something to that, Doghouse. I'm still not going to be switching to those goggles, but there is something to that. Why were their chin straps loose? Shut up, Bardwell. That's how cool kids do it. Cool kids don't tighten their chin straps. Jesus Christ. You look at a picture of Tony Hawk, and you tell me if his chin strap is tight or not. Let me tell you what. Look at this. Look at this. Does that... Oh, it is tight. Yeah, because he's not a freaking idiot. Because he cares about the freaking helmet keeping his skull from bashing open. He's not an actor on a set. Cool kids don't tighten their chin straps, brah. Okay. I saw a video of a guy. What was he doing? I think he was dropping in. Maybe he was dropping into a bowl, and he F's it up completely and just goes. Wasn't wearing a helmet. Like, huh? Maybe should have been wearing a helmet. I don't know, brah. You know you sound like my dad right now, brah. You just sound like my dad. Oh, wear a helmet. This thing you know you're gonna want me to. Yeah. You guys know how dangerous trampolines are? Kids, 30 years from now, you remember lawn darts? People who are older than me, lawn darts were before my time. Lawn darts are these giant, weighted, sharp, deadly spikes that you throw into the air, and they have fins, so they arc through the air, and they come down, thunk, and they stick in the ground, and you try and throw them at a target on the ground. Except they're also like think about it. You just thrown a sharp, heavy, deadly, sharp aerodynamic object, and like kids were getting, I don't know if any kids ever actually got killed with one. They were before my time, but people were like, what are you doing? Lawn darts? They took them off the market. And now sometimes some of us look back and go, oh, those were the good old days before the nanny state. And some of us go, lawn darts. Who thought that was a good idea? And trampolines. I feel like 20 years from now, trampolines are going to be. We got a trampoline for my son. And we were like, should we put the little, they put the nets around the trampoline. We did have nets back in my day. We fell off the trampoline. We broke our arm and we liked it. My mom is telling me we didn't like it. We cried a lot. And then you had to take us to the hospital and pay thousands of dollars to get our arms. Oh. So anyway, we got the trampoline for my son. And I said, should we put the net on it? And I like me, we're not lame. We're not like those lame risk-averse people who put nets on their trampolines. Our son is going to jump on a trampoline, fall off the trampoline, and break his arm. It was good enough for me. It was good enough for my son. Well, maybe we should do some research. Maybe we should do some reading. How dangerous are they? Turns out trampolines are like super dangerous. Like one of the leading causes of serious childhood injury. I don't mean like you jumped off the trampoline, you fell and you broke your arm and you went to the hospital and you had a cast and all your friends signed the cast and then you look back. I mean like just little Jimmy got paralyzed because he tried to do a backflip and fell on his head, or jumped off the trampoline and broke his spine. Like trampolines are super dangerous. So we put the net on, but we still have the trampoline. Anyway. Thanks for that super chat. Flap around FPV. Got us off on that tangent. Edwin Ramirez, thanks for a $5 super chat. What would be the best settings for the Darwin 50 amp BL32 ESC? The default settings, generally. Some people say that you should set 20. Well, okay, now I'm going to disagree with myself. Some people say that you should set 24 for BL32, 24-degree motor timing instead of auto timing. And in BL32.8, they now have variable PWM. You should set the bottom as low as you can and the top as high as you can. For some ESCs, it's going to be 48 and 96. For some ESCs, it's going to be 24 and 48. But that's what I would do on a BL32 ESC today. Abraham, who is a doctor, says, I literally just took care of a kid with a buckle fracture earlier today. Google it. No, thank you. Top results will point to trampolines, which is where he obtained his injury. Yeah. I mean, when I say trampolines are super dangerous, I mean like, 0.01% of kids paralyze themselves on one. It's like a really small number, but it's like a really big number. It's a small number percentage-wise, but a big number if it's your kid who's paralyzed. Neck injury, yeah. Jose C. Rivera, thank you for a $5 super chat. How do you feel about the FPV Cycle 2203 3450 kV motors on a Whoop? I mean, Bob Rudy makes good motors. The problem is that there are two things that are wrong with FPV Cycle. Bob Rudy is the most thorough tester and researcher of motors and ESCs, probably in the whole hobby. And the downside of FPV Cycle is that he is constantly tweaking things. So like you'll buy motors and then 3 months later you'll go back to buy a spare and the motor magnets are 0.25 millimeters taller. Why? Because Bob thought it made it better. Some would see that as an advantage, but it can be a little frustrating if the stuff is constantly changing. The other problem is that his stuff is often out of stock. Some of that's just because it's so popular it sells out. So why doesn't he order bigger batches? I'm not sure. Some of that is because he is extremely demanding on the manufacturers. And he goes back and forth with, he'll do 1,000 prototypes of the motor. Can you make me one that's a 0.5 millimeter bigger? Can you make me one that's a 0.5 millimeter wider? Can you make me one with an extra winding? Can you make me one with copper wire? Can you stranded wire? I'm just making this stuff up. He'll do a zillion before he finds the one that he wants. And then finally he pulls the trigger and gets prototypes. And then the prototypes aren't right. And he has to go back and argue with the manufacturer. And 6 months later, he's finally got a batch of motors to sell that he's happy with. So that's, but if they're in stock, I feel like if they're the right motor, like you say, you're going to put them on a whoop. What size props are you going to put on them? If they're in stock and they're designed for your application, they're great products. He makes great motors. Carlos Botros, thanks for a $5 super chat. Help me out. I've got 15 sets of Moonlight V2. I can't get a single one to work. I mean, you can take a look at my Moonlight video and see how I put it together. I don't know what you could be doing wrong, but presumably you're doing something wrong in assembling them. I don't know what to tell you, though. We're coming toward the end of the stream. I would never discourage you from leaving super chats, but I am letting you know that the stream is going to be ending soon. And if you leave your super chat too close to the end of the stream, I may not be able to read it out. Mike Bergman says he has QC issues with the manufacturers. Yes, here's a nice picture of original lawn darts from the 60s. when killing your siblings was just considered an acceptable risk to have a good time. Yeah. Hey, nobody be downrange. We're playing lawn darts. Mike Bergman says he has QC issues with manufacturers. That is true. And this is part of the problem is that it's not a problem. Part of the problem for Bob is that he is incredibly demanding, and he has every right to be. It's his name and it's his product. And I think that a lot of manufacturers in the FPV industry are not used to having someone with standards, yeah. Yeah. So the effect, though, is that customers sometimes can't get the products that they want and are frustrated. Which, I mean, as I talk about FPV Cycle, I've been thinking about them a lot. As I think about them, I got to think about the pros and cons. The pros are it's great stuff. The cons are it's often out of stock and you can't get it. And some people would use a different motor. If his 5-inch motor is the best motor you can get for 5 inches, but it's out of stock and you can't get spares, some people would be like, yeah, I'm going to pass. So. Anyway. 2 minutes to the end of the stream, folks. Thank you so much for coming out. I hope you've enjoyed it. I stream Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern and Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern, as well as 6 p.m. on Tuesdays. We do the news, the FPV news. A little bit different format than this. It's only an hour, and we go over news. You can find on my channel page on YouTube a list of all the live streams coming up. As a reminder, I will not be streaming on Sunday. A week from yesterday, I will not be streaming because I'm going to be in Asheville at the test screening of the FPV drone documentary. Ciati is going to be streaming after me. He just posted the link in the chat. So if you want to see more streaming, go over to Ciati's page. Also, probably later tonight, I will be doing another email stream. I currently have wrong email inbox. I only have 12 in that inbox. I currently have 110 messages, oh my god, in my inbox. So I will probably be doing another email live stream tonight. If you find, I don't announce them. They're completely spontaneous and unplanned, but if you keep an eye on your notifications, you may find them. So thank you, OGK Turkper, Ogtur P Kid. What the hell is your name? Thanks for $1 super chat. That's going to do it for me tonight. Have a good live stream, Ciati. And I'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody. There it is. There's the mouse cursor. Good night, everybody.